We are live!
Welcome to the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by the Beacon Tap, Signature Transportation Group, and Mom and Dad Water. What's going on, Cousin Donnie?
What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
I don't know. It's been a long day, man. Been a long day, and
Sure.
I'm really tired. I got to get up at 3 a.m. tonight to go drive to Michigan. So,
Oh, dang. You got a busy weekend ahead of you, huh?
a little shout out to the fat kids for at the moment the best team in the off season for pickups.
Yeah, Fat Kids and Whale have crushed it this offseason for sure. Let me tell you, though, Fat Kids always comes correct with the uniforms. They always look good. They got 3 or 4 uniforms usually, hockey jerseys, long sleeves, pants, shorts. They always look really cool. The one you got on now is awesome because it's got the Blackhawks on the shoulders, and then it's got the big kid on the middle. That's a cool jersey you got on.
Oh, this one is for sure really cool, actually, from the standpoint of just material. It's super thin. Would be nice in the winter.
Does Fat Kids have the best jerseys in 16-inch softball? Of all the current teams, I was thinking about, 45's kind of classic jerseys, nothing flashy but good colors. Signature, we got the raspberry. They've got some cool things. I'll tell you what, we lost a good one in Meatball City. They always had cool uniforms for sure. Yeah. Dynasty has great colors. Hex always has cool colors. High-Wise got like 6 different jerseys.
I would say probably Fat Kids. Yeah, would definitely be the number one.
Baracho's always got cool gear. Steve-O always puts a lot into his gear. Put in the comments who you guys think has the best jerseys in 16-inch softball. Who had the best uniforms? Moneyline has good colors.
I do want to say also, Donnie, and I don't know if you know this, but we are also live now on TikTok.
Oh, shoot.
So our whole show is actually live on TikTok, which is
that's cool.
Pretty cool. So you can tap in and watch us on TikTok now as well. It's something that we're getting viewers over there as well. So I think we got close to like 500 followers. I know we just started the page already. So just another platform that we can obviously present our game to the world. So I don't know if you know this, but I was on ESPN Radio today.
How'd that go?
It went well. I threw a shout out to the 16-inch softball players. I threw a shout out to, just the game as a whole. And then, of course, I had to mention little Papa Magoo's, right? So, I mean, we were talking about the Cubs. We didn't get a chance to really talk about 16-inch softball, but either way, it was a very cool way to, I guess you want to say, celebrate my Thursday afternoon. So
yeah, pretty cool, man. Well, we've got a couple topics in store for you guys today. We'll talk about maybe a decline in the game, and then a potential newcomer in the game, and then we'll see what the comments kind of bring us. So we'll see what's going on. We got Christian Martins in the chat says Ultra. They got great jerseys. Matt Peckus says let's see what Jim Pack brings to the table with jerseys. And then Angelo Feliciano says yes, of course the Fat Kids have the best unis in the game. We've got Louisiana Laderick says hi. That's a hell of a name. Louisiana Laderick.
Yeah, for sure. For those people that are watching us on TikTok, we are the Uncle Jimmy and Cousin Donnie show. We talk about softball We do mention 16-inch softball a ton. We also talk a little bit about 12-inch and kind of what's going on all over the country. So when people send us stuff, Donnie, we talk about it. One of the main
Yeah.
things going on right now, as you well know, it's the USSSA Worlds,
Yep.
which is something that I believe you're going to see throughout the weekend. I know our Resmondo's out there.
Yep.
I believe I-57, the majors, and I believe they had the women's
I do.
championship game actually was yesterday or the day before. So I know it started on Tuesday.
Trying to
It,
find the schedule for that. So give me a sec. I'll try to see who's playing and when we can. I was watching some streams of that stuff.
yep.
September 29th, World Tournament links.
And since we're on that topic, I want to mention that Kyle Pearson on our page, the video we posted from the home run derby at the SSA Major National has almost reached 200,000 views. So
Sick.
it's pretty crazy to think that what we've accomplished in regards to the game of 16 in softball, with bringing some of those guys in, but also making it well known across the country about 16 in softball. And we had a pretty big one of our topics we want to talk about. We could probably, as you pull that up, walk right into it, and that's the One Nation soft slow pitch.
Yeah.
One
So,
Nation.
yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and
Yeah.
share a little bit about it?
So One Nation is a group that runs a lot of the 12-inch stuff. Coming in 2026, they have 16-inch softball tournaments with optional use for gloves. You've got unlimited home runs, 2 divisions of play, and then a national championship to be held in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So pretty exciting stuff that there might be a new player involved in the creation of some of these tournaments. And I'm
Right.
guessing that there will be more travel involved for these One Nation events, as they have teams from all over the country that are going to try and fly around and play. I'm guessing we're going to see some stuff in Indiana and maybe Iowa, North Dakota, up in the upper Midwest there, where you've got a lot of the teams that are coming from there. So it'll be interesting to see. And then my guy Hooch was in contact with the person who runs One Nation and said he will, as soon as he has some more information for us, hop on the show and we'll get a chance to talk to him about what his plans are. So make sure you stay close to the show to learn more about that as we approach the next coming weeks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool to see, hopefully them take it to another level. And I'm thinking what they're probably going to do is probably merge it in a little bit with some of their 12-inch tournaments that they travel around the country.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure, where they're going to get teams, but I'm assuming they're going to have a lot of these 12-inch teams play 16-inch softball.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what it's going to come down to, because that's the group that they have already. They've got the teams that follow One Nation and play in the One Nation tournaments. And One Nation also has a player database. So
Yep.
there's going to be major players, A players, B players that are locked into a database, and you're not going to be able to play at different levels if you're considered a major or A, B player. The men's B World Tournaments just ended actually about 15 minutes ago, as the final, or yesterday. I-57 was the B World Champion, and then we'll have the men's A coming up after that, I believe.
Yep. And then the major, I believe, is over the weekend, right?
Believe so, yeah.
So tons of softball available with those guys going on. Hopefully, our boy Trey will be live streaming some games over the weekend. Yeah, so hopefully he'll be live streaming some games so we can take a look at some of that stuff. But with those comments coming out today about One Nation, I think that's something that we've discussed on our show about having a list of major players, top 100, top 150, whatever it is that we decide, and those players being on a major list, not being able to play in certain tournaments or necessarily, because like we've talked about before, if you're on a major team and maybe you're a bench guy or you're a runner or maybe you're just a utility guy in that team, we had mentioned it. We don't think it's necessarily fair for them to be listed as a major player.
It could ruin their whole season.
Allow them to go down and play with an A team and also with a B team if needed.
Yeah. Correct.
So very cool stuff. Really quick before you make your next comment, I want to say hello to Clarence. Clarence is going to be running I believe they're going to try to run a game on Sunday over in
Yeah.
Forest Park. It's going to be the city versus the suburbs.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I know I was asked, but I cannot make it. I won't be home until after 4 o'clock. But either way, it sounds like a great idea. Hopefully, we can get that thing live streamed, and it definitely can be watched if he does keep true with the weekend, which will be this weekend. So hopefully
Yeah.
not. Hopefully they move it and we'll be able to be a part of it. So, Tom. Welcome to the show. Our boy Mickey Bleshy, welcome. We got Fat Jason, welcome. Dean, welcome. John, welcome. Pops, welcome. Phil, Joey, Clarence, Jesus is welcome. Mel's on. So welcome to the Uncle Jimmy, Cousin Donnie show. Obviously sponsored by the Signature Transportation Group, Mom and Dad Water, and of course our most famous, the Beacon Tap. So, Donnie,
I was just there.
we have a lot to go on, and I want to talk a little bit tonight also about the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So
I was just at the Beacon Tap on Tuesday, by the way.
really, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you
It was a
see
good
our
time.
guy? Did you see our guy Tommy Reamer?
I asked for him again. He wasn't working.
Yeah, he doesn't work very much, does he?
That guy's always off.
He's always off. Love it. All right, so I have some news about the Hall of Fame that I want to share tonight.
Okay.
So first thing is we have a deadline for those businesses that are out there. The dinner ed book, the deadline is 10/10, so you can get your name recognized in those dinner books. It's $350 for a full page, $250 for a half page, quarter page is $150, and an eighth of a page is $75. So that's one thing there. They're looking to have about 500 guests at the Hall of Fame this year. The Hall of Fame is October 25th at Drury Lane in Oak Brook. The doors and cocktails will open at 5:30. Dinners is served at 7, and the award dinner starts at 8. Tickets are $150 if you're purchased today. If you buy them at the door, they're $170. If you bring your children, they're $95. You can obviously buy them directly from any of the board members. They also have an Eventbrite site where you can go on and do that. So some of the people, and there's a ton of people here, but some of the main people that are getting in the 2025 class, our boy Richie Kaz,
Yep.
Jim McCarthy, obviously Sharif Walker, Shelly Pekka, Jackie Reed, Shirley Wilborn. Out of state, we have Bob Darst. We have our boy Brad Van Meter. We also have John Doss for manager getting in.
Yep.
Cool one. I did see the Frank Holland Award going to Tommy Lentine. Also, Frank Lentine, his father's also getting in as a Presidential Service Award. So pretty cool stuff. Rob Harris also getting the Richard Daley Award. Field of Dreams, Armour Square Park.
My guy Mark Manizzi is getting on the Wall of Fame, so that's pretty cool. Coach Mark.
Yep. So honorees. Yep. Down here you have Mark Manizzi on the Hall of Fame or the Wall of Fame. You have William Reed Davis, Stephen Culp, Andrew Page, Randy Braden, and Willie Holmes all getting in on the Wall of Fame. I would say Grisano. I would say probably not. Men's teams, the 74th Street Raiders, the Chicago Jets. That's a new one. I never heard that name before.
That's cool.
The Snappers. I've actually played the Snappers.
Yeah.
Snappers
were a team as of recent as like a year or two ago.
That is correct.
With Kenny All-Star on the team.
So I know that you and I have done interviews the last several years at the Hall of Fame. This year, unfortunately, I will not be able to attend. It's a date that my business has a wrestling event, WWE wrestling event in the Dome, and unfortunately, I will not be able to make it. So, so that being said, It sucks, Donnie, because I actually we
Yeah,
enjoyed.
yeah,
I
it's
know we
cool.
went to the Iowa one. We were going to try to make the Iowa one again this year. I think we're going to go in full tuxes, like we said, and not jumpsuits. But pretty cool. So Hall of Fame
So
is a
another
pretty cool thing.
Yeah, another cool thing. William Davis is actually Red Davis, who was the father of Brian and Eric Davis, who's surrounded by the game all the time. Still coaches a bag on money line. Great guy. Happy for him that he's going to be a part of the Hall of Fame. So quick shout out
Yep.
to my guy Red Davis on that. So awesome news about the One Nation softball. Got the Hall of Fame stuff figured out. Pumped about that. Um, but yeah, so that One Nation stuff is really cool. I think it's going to help grow the game with a third party associate that wants to help run some tournaments. And Jimmy, let me ask you a question. The One Nation stuff, they might not know a ton of the 16-inch teams. Do you think it's almost better to see kind of a different viewpoint of it than what we see now?
I would say the game is definitely in need of something new, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
I and I'm not saying that the SSA has done a bad job. I don't think that's what we're saying. I just think we need something of flavor. One of the reasons why you and I decided to start a tournament next year, obviously raise money, sponsor corporate money, all sorts of stuff that we're trying to do for the June 26th and 27th date. Just bring something new. I think, and the one of the reasons why I like it is this is going to give us more flexibility to travel out of state to play
Yeah.
softball. For those
Because
people,
you were texting a little bit earlier. You could put together a team that simply travels to tournaments. You've got Yuma, you've got Scottsdale, you've got Marshalltown, you've got Carroll. Now you've got potentially Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You could travel a whole lot and play 16 in softball just doing tournaments.
yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because I know that you, myself, and I believe Little Mick was on a
Yeah.
tech thread together earlier, and we
Yeah.
had put together a list. I know you mentioned Scottsdale in March. You mentioned Yuma. You can go to Iowa twice. You can go to Vegas in October.
Yeah.
You also have in June. You have Carroll, Iowa, which is
Yeah.
the big one out there. There's also a tournament in Oregon.
Really?
Uh, yes, there's two tournaments in Oregon in August. Uh, Obviously, in years past, the Wisconsin Dells has always had one in
Yep.
September.
Yep.
Chula Vista, California, that tournament was usually in September, October. Now it is trying to be played in Arizona in November. You also have you have Terry Moran, you have the Hamlin Park ones, you have the first responders. So if you decided, and let's say Donnie, we were like, you know what, we're going to travel, and
Yeah.
we're home, we're going to play neighborhood tournaments. I wonder how many guys we would get to be able to do that because
Yeah.
we would probably need a roster of 15.
20. Yeah.
Get corporate sponsors, of course,
Yeah.
right, and kind of do something similar to what Resmondo does, and travel. Obviously the One Nation. If you're going to be playing some better 12-inch teams, it would be a lot better competition than what some of these other
Yeah.
tournaments are going to provide.
You can
Obviously, Yuma.
legitimately create a 16-inch team that just is like a travel team, legitimately like a Resmondo, Roofex kind of thing, where you can go around the country, you can play ball throughout the year, and not play any any tournaments here, and still play a ton of softball.
Yes, and still play
Wow.
very good
Yeah,
competition.
yeah, true.
Uh, with playing a lot of the top 12-inch teams and a lot of the tournaments that they're talking about One Nation's trying to do. And then at the
Yeah,
same playing some of the Iowa tournaments and facing some of the Iowa teams. And then, of course, we would be able to play our tournament here, which would be able to face some of the major teams in Chicago as well. So you would be able to play numerous,
yeah,
you know, it is interesting. I wonder if that is something that would attract some of the younger players in
sure.
softball now to play.
You would
Guys.
you definitely need a group of single men that don't have kids, that don't have
Yeah,
requirements with kids that play baseball, sports. You're gonna have a group of guys that are gonna travel quite a bit. Maybe once or twice a month out of the state, and then potentially have to play a ton of softball. But you'd need a dedicated group, that's for sure.
I mean, the Rismondo guys, they have kids. I'm sure Roofex guys,
Hey,
they have kids,
that's true.
and
That's
they
their
travel.
job.
I get it, but if you do land, I mean, what do we say their payroll was? Like 900,000,
I'm in.
something like a million. If we were to land a corporate sponsor that's going to travel around the country, it's a little easier to land those sponsors
Sure.
when you are traveling rather than just being in Illinois. You work for a company, Donnie, that would
Yeah.
be interested in probably doing something along those lines.
Yeah. Internet. I mean, that'd be great. I'm in.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
So,
pull some strings. I'll pull some strings.
and I know this, your CEO, I know him very well.
Hmm.
Hung out with him a ton, and he's a really, really down to earth guy. And I think, you
Yeah.
know, your company is expanding. So you guys are
Yeah.
moving into more states, and so, it could be something it's not out of reach. I mean, and this is what we talk about changing the game of softball. Yeah, I mean, is it going to be tough to do something that like that? Of course, but don't ever say it's never going to happen, right? Never know.
Sure.
If One Nation takes off and you want a lot of your major 16-inch softball players in Chicago want to go play new competition and better competition, it could be something that
Yeah.
might be interesting for a major 16-inch softball player, especially One Nation. I mean, why do you think One Nation started, or why do you even think they brought it up?
Great point. I really, this came out of nowhere today. So interestingly enough, it just kind of got sent to us in a text message like, "Hey, check this out! Someone's starting some new tournaments," and we said, "Hell yeah!" It's
Yeah.
about time that somebody, outside of this area, this space, this small demographic that we've got. I mean, it came in and is potentially making a splash and starting some new things. So
Well,
I think it's great. I
do
don't know why it would start. I have no idea.
you think that the 12-inch world has seen our game now for the
Maybe,
last couple years?
maybe,
And who knows, maybe they, instead of maybe 12 inches getting stale too on their end, right?
maybe.
Uh, I
I mean,
mean, who knows?
they probably run into it too, where a lot of the top teams are the only ones that have a chance to win a lot of these tournaments. Like we always see Resmondo, Rufex in the final, or winners bracket final. That's just kind of how it's going. So maybe they're trying to branch out and get some new players to play. Potentially even 12-inch. I played
Yeah.
12-inch tonight. It was great. It's fun. So,
Yeah.
but that'll be interesting to see kind of what the end goal is there with that.
I mean, 16-inch to me is more of a baseball game, you know? And as I think baseball is becoming kind of making a little bit of a comeback from popularity standpoint, especially at the major leagues. I felt for a while there it was getting stale, and then they made a lot of changes. They speed up the game. They've done a lot of things to really draw the fan back to the game
Sure.
with the stolen bases, the bases being bigger, all sorts of stuff that they're doing to enhance action. Obviously pitching has been dominant in the postseason
Yeah.
right now. I
Today,
think
today, for example.
every game's been under but one, I think. No, I think
Yeah.
every game's been under.
Yeah.
And
The
it
only game
was a
that hasn't been so far was Dodgers Reds game one.
right. The 10-5 game, right? Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
So
and the Tigers Guardians today ended up being 6-3, but yeah.
okay. So but majority of them have been under.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting thing. I think the One Nation thing could take off. Maybe, us here in Chicago, hopefully we embrace it. We don't fight it. I think that's the biggest thing, right? We want them to be a part of what we're doing now. I believe Hooch he's
Yep.
getting some information for us.
Yep.
Hopefully we hear more in the time to come, and we can release some things. I know they had mentioned they wanted to come on our show, so that's
Yeah. He wants. Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, he wants to jump on eventually when he said when he learns some more information about it, when he's got some more, set dates and set things in stone, he'll jump on the show and let everybody know kind of what's going on.
Right. So if you're out there right now and you guys have any comments about the One Nation softball, throw it in the chat, because the more we want to know and more we hear about what you guys are trying to, or what you're seeing from your end, the more questions we can ask. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
put change. MLK had a dream.
Change is good. Change is good. But yeah, so the next thing that we kind of wanted to talk about. We had some. Do you want to say something before I get into that?
No.
The
Go ahead.
the next thing we kind of wanted to talk about, we had some more unfortunate news in the softball world this week. And, we had the beginning of the offseason with Meatball City being done. So we lost one major team there. And now March and Circus are both done. So we lost two more major teams this offseason. So it sucks, honestly, to see some of the major teams kind of, stepping away from it or, whatever it is. But we hate to see
So
it. We really do.
what is your opinion on why you think we're losing major teams at that level? I know you're going to ask me the same question, but
Yeah.
before,
Man, it's tough because in the Meatball City world, there was a tough time with commitment. And then, being sort of the mid level major team, it is tough to compete with the top major teams. And then in their eyes, that's why how the hell we come out here and just get smacked, right? Get beat up. But Meatball City is a good fringe mid level team. Just no commitment there, I don't think. And Joel, just had a baby and didn't want to really put more time into recruiting and trying to
yeah.
build his team any more than he has. On the March side of things, probably a disappointing season for March. Some guys, maybe branching off to other teams, and it's hard to find other guys to play. And then on the Circus side of things, maybe a couple things fell through, and tried to get a couple different guys that didn't end up falling their way, and team kind of disbanded after no gloves with some of the veterans dropping out and mentioning their lack of commitment for next year and letting the guys know ahead of the time, which is probably the right thing to do, Jim. Saying, hey, I'm probably not going to be involved as I was this year. Try and find somebody else or try and find a replacement. But at the end of the day, it's tough to find guys that can compete at that high level, especially with Circus. I mean, such a good group and such a good team.
Yeah.
You're not just looking to pick up anybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that Keenan going to you guys, I think really was the last straw in the Circus thing. I think if Keenan stays, they probably have a team. I do. I know that Iggy and I heard yesterday that Vito was never even a part of it. I heard it was just Iggy.
Really?
That he said that they were in, then he's out, and then now he's obviously staying with Flash. So a lot of things there, a lot of rumors, but when you look at it overall, I think the biggest thing about losing the major teams and why it sucks is because we only really had, not counting the Iowa guys, 15 Chicago major teams.
Yeah.
Where if you look back 5 years ago, we probably had closer to maybe 24, 25, somewhere in there.
Right.
So the level of play is definitely coming down from where it was overall. And Timmy Kornikowski brought up a good point to me last night. As much as everyone loves Papa Hops, is it really hurting softball?
With the guys that don't want to commit to a major team for a full year with putting their Papa Hops in jeopardy, right?
Well, correct, because a lot of those guys that do play on the south side, would they play if they were able to play Papa Hops with their neighborhood teams? Would softball actually be better? And that's that's nothing against Papa Hops. I'm just saying, it kind of has blown up to be the biggest tournament now in Chicago.
Yeah.
Forest Park, I feel, is starting to take a step back, right, a little bit in regards to, and I don't really want to judge Forest Park on this year because I felt like rain was a big part of that. But I don't know. I mean, that's a good. I mean, I'd like to hear from some of the people watching. I know we have close to 100 people watching right now between TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I would like to hear from those people out there. Do you guys think that Papa Hops is great as a tournament it is and what it does for the cause? Because it's tremendous what they do. Do we think Papa Hops is actually hurting the major game? And does that, getting back to the topic, why are major teams folding?
Yeah.
I think that has a little bit to do with it because there's really nobody to pick up. So when you lose 2 or 3 guys off your squad, how are you replacing them? to
Correct.
stay at the same level.
Correct.
And
Right. Exactly. Because Circus has, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Circus has a really high standard for play. That's a really, really good team, a no glove national champion last year. They lose guys and they're not expecting to just pick up anybody to replace them. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
it can't be. It has to be another high level guy that is ready to start and be a player at that level. Packus makes a good comment. He goes, with those three dropping, what does that mean for the good A teams? Will some be moved up to fill those three slots? Probably not. You don't want to take anything from the A game, because at the A level you still need those teams to develop. Those guys need to prove that they can play at the major level. And the good side of things, we did get a new major team this year with Future jumping up and playing major. So we
yeah,
lost three, right? But we get Future in a low level major team that will grow and get better. And it'll be very interesting to see what guys like Barachos do. I know that Goodwood plays at the A level, but they also play in the major tournaments. Menace plays at A national, but they play major tournaments. I think that stuff is fine. Hopefully
right,
the SSA doesn't force those teams to move up into the major leagues or the major division, because those teams would struggle, I think. So just
right,
having, not the depth that you need, or not having the big time power that some of, the top major teams have, they'll struggle with that. Drew says, I didn't get to come, so I wouldn't know. I got told I was major and hadn't played no gloves for 2 years. Matt Menizzi, commitment truly is the biggest issue. People don't want to commit to 4 or 5 full weekends a year to tournaments as well and play in 2 leagues. They'd rather play in one park league 2 times a week in single day tournaments. So interesting. I mean, these are good comments, but commitment is a huge issue. We talk about it every week, but it's commitment from the guys that you're looking to replace players that are leaving with, if that makes sense.
Is this the year that Melrose and Forest Park can connect for one league?
That would be great, right? That would be just one really solid league where commitment is 100% necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. It's interesting to think about, why, losing Circus to me is a big loss for our game.
Yeah.
You have and I think I said it when they won it. It was as bad as this sounds, it wasn't the best thing for softball, because our biggest issue was commitment, and we all knew that team had struggled with commitment.
Yep.
Right. How does it look that our major national champion unfortunately had a fold due to commitment next year? And it's not that Timmy and some of those guys Duff don't want. I mean, they got kids, man. Their kids play sport. They have other things that go on, and you can't fault those guys for that. Because I know Timmy, I know Duff. Those guys will find a team and they want to play. But overall, the rest of them, I mean, they can't do it themselves, right? I mean,
right.
So there's guys on that team too that unfortunately they have jobs and they have other things too, and I don't know. I mean, how do you stop that? Is playing less, does that help that, or I mean, because if you really look at the major game, it's only 5 weekends a year. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you don't play one of the 5 weekends, I mean, it's not really a lot. Now, when you throw in all the other stuff that you and I play, like Yuma and Iowa and stuff, yeah, of course it turns into a lot. But when you look at softball, it's only 5 weekends a year. Okay. If you're a high level A team, it's a little more. Maybe it's 7 weeks.
Correct.
But I don't know. Is that the real reason why teams are folding? I know we talk a lot about, shorten the tournaments. I get all that.
If they're going to miss, they're going to miss. If people are going to miss a weekend, they're going to miss a weekend. It doesn't matter when the tournament starts and when it ends. If you're going out of town, birthdays, traveling, if you can't make Saturday, you're not going to make a Saturday if that's the end of the tournament. Let me touch on this comment really quick, Jim. Mark Menezzi said, a major player list would likely solve that issue for Papa Hops. The major player limit is part of what makes Papa Hops special. Correct. Guys don't want to come and earn a spot on a major team because once they put the jersey on for one game, they burn their eligibility for 2 years. Great comment here, and I hope that the One Nation tournaments have some sort of list that those players are deemed to be major. Because, let me give you an example. Think about a guy like William Russ. William Russ is a guy that hangs out with Flash. He's on the bench. He'll get in and pinch once in a while when they absolutely need him, or up a lot, down a lot. He'll pinch run. William Russ will probably tell you himself. He's probably not a major player. He will be a great guy to fill in on an A team or a B team
Right.
and be able to have that flexibility to play. But since he's wears a Flash jersey, there goes the eligibility. There are so many guys like that. William is just a perfect example of it because he plays on one of the best teams in the game, but he's committed to being a major player. And William also has great commitment, by the way. He shows up to every game. But that's the kind of thing, right? There's a lot of guys that do that, that play in one tournament a year with a major team, that their eligibility is gone for a great tournament like Papa Hops right away. So that major player list would be great. And it would have to be done by the players or by an association that knows every player and where they play and things like that. So that One Nation stuff is exciting in that aspect.
Well, I mean, we've talked about having that players association, getting a room of players together and seeing what we want to do. Right.
Right.
We've made a handful of calls already. I think that we're going to be making more calls, but we got to have a meeting. We got to talk with people about that and see what the game wants to do as a player association.
Sure.
Because
right.
I think if the players speak, I think then obviously these associations have to listen to a certain point. But, that's the thing. When the players are all together, I think it's a little bit different. If we want to put out a list for a major player list, then we don't got to rank them 1 through 100. We can just make a list of 100 guys or whatever it is and run with it. So
right.
I don't know. I mean, there's a million good ideas that you can do, but I think something needs to start being done because, it's just something that I don't know. When you look at softball, every year we're losing 2 and 3 more teams.
And we're not gaining 3 or 4 more teams every year.
Right.
I will say it's been really interesting to see where the top players are starting to branch off to. I think that's good for softball, that they're not just done with softball. That you're seeing guys like Sherwin, Alonji, Eddie Valunas head over to Whale and try to help build that team up even more. I think that's good for softball. Future coming through the A division to play major and try to build their team by taking guys that aren't interested in their major teams. That's good for softball. Fat Kids doing what they're doing this offseason. It's helping build the middle to try and compete with the top even more. I think that's good for softball. But when someone puts on a Flash jersey for one day, it kills their eligibility for 2 years at one of the best tournaments of the year. That's tough.
I put a comment on the screen.
Louisiana Laderick. That's a great name.
Yeah. So, but what did they say is, I think is right. We should do this on our next show. We don't have to rank them. We don't have to rank them. I think we can just list them. To my opinion, I think any guy in softball could be the best player that weekend. You know what I mean? We know. So we don't have to rank them. I don't think ranking them does anything, but I think we should put a list together of the top 100, 150, whatever it is, players.
That's a good comment.
In the game. Yeah. So he says here the SSA or you guys should vote with the coaches, and all the major teams vote on who would count as major. So our point, right? Putting a list together. Have some sort of weighting under the votes in the top 50 or 60 guys major. Then all the 12-inch players should also cross over too. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that I think is very interesting, right? More people would be interested in that. Donnie, maybe that is something we do, right? And that could help the One Nation too. The list of having.
Yeah, true. Here's the top 60 guys in the game. Right. These are major guys.
Well, I think we have, if you look at it, if you include Iowa, we have
more than 60.
We have 19 major teams if you include Iowa. F-Town's a major team now. Hall of Fame's a major team. Who else? Chucks.
Yeah.
Los
Would you
Lobos.
say Los Lobos? Yeah.
Those 4. Then you have 15 on the Illinois side. You have Y, you have BTA.
Right.
The BTA's in my rumor mill tonight, so I heard some stuff.
Okay.
On BTA.
Okay.
the Pharaohs. Okay,
Yeah.
those three. Then you drop down to.
Oh, I just got a very good text from my guy Noach. We'll get there once we get to rumor mill. This will be
Okay.
good. Let's move it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it
Yeah.
going.
So that,
Oh,
but I'm just
Noach.
saying, if you think about the major teams, the less of the list. I mean, it could easily be I would say 100 to 120. We don't have to have a number of the list. It's not like we have to cut it off. If we feel you're a major player, you're on the list.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that's something that you and I will do. That's going to take some time to go through the rosters.
That might take a while. That might be a long show. We don't have to do
Not
it
as
all
much
live,
as
but
you think, though. We could do it
it would
beforehand.
be
Yeah.
yeah. Joey Carb says, "What if we rank guys with the best hair?" That's a list I might be able to get in. Absolutely, first ballot, Joey Carbs. Yeah, this is a
Does
good. This
Joey
is a
have
good.
hair?
Joey's got great hair.
Yeah.
I think he's got long, wonderful locks, doesn't he?
Yeah. I
I'm
think he
pretty
does.
sure.
I think he does, for sure. What were you going to
I think
say? What were you going to get in about? So you asked about the major teams folding and
yeah.
what is the reasoning behind it, right? We touched a little bit about the Papa Hops. We touched a little bit about commitment, people with jobs, and so on. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't get it. So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
There's conversation about like the top teams being so separated from the bottom, and yes and no. Right now, the top teams are really, really good and talented. I think the top teams 10 years ago were super strong as well. That 45s team, when I first came up with Little B and Chippy and Alex Smith and Billy, like that team was unreal. I mean, they were beating
Yeah.
everybody, crushing teams. So it's not like that different than it always kind of has been since I have been around. But the top four teams right now, top three teams now, are really strong, and they're going to be difficult to beat in tournaments twice. So that's just something that I was thinking about too. That there is a little bit of a disconnect with the top teams and kind of the mid to lower bottom level teams. But as we see every year, two or three teams are done. Teams that are still around will just continue to get stronger, kind of like Fat Kids, kind of like Whale, things like that. That's great to see. So Impact,
Yeah.
another team that looks to improve every year. I love that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those middle of the pack teams are getting stronger, but we are losing top team. I mean, March and Circus, say what you want. They were probably top 7, top 8 teams in the game.
Two of the top, six teams even. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, Circus won Forest Park. I mean,
Yeah,
let's just
right.
call it what it is.
March
March
got a bye and they got a bye. That was the top 8 team in softball.
Yeah.
2 bye teams were done. Man,
Yeah.
Meatball City, like not a play, and that's a stone cold in the tournament team. Done.
So Nicholas Lawrence says, is being a major player based on commitment or talent?
Probably talent.
Yeah.
Because there are guys that are really, really, really good at the game that don't really show up to a ton, but are still 100% major players.
Well, like, do you put like a guy like Joey Yaris on
He's
that
a
list?
major player, 100%. Stacey,
Okay.
Vince Stacey, 100% major player.
Yeah. So, a guy like Alex Smith, who hasn't played major softball in 4 years, is he considered still a major player?
That's the one that'll be tough. That'll be a vote.
I mean, because
Alex, it's a great one.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, I mean, and this is not just for Papa Hops, but I'm talking major. Like,
for tournament.
He is a talented player. Now, if you're going to do a major list, and there's guys that play on the south side that don't play major softball, are they considered major players?
That's a tough one.
What are you laughing at over there?
Meatball City collapsed. Their run hit the stops. Hard to win games when Pops is smoking crops.
Yeah.
That's a great poem. That's a great Meatball City poem from Louisiana LaDerrick.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. You talk about my mind's thinking now, because do you put a guy that plays at Kennedy Park but doesn't play on a major team? Is he considered major because he's a talented player? Or are we just looking at players that play on a major team that's considered major players?
Yeah.
Right? Because to me,
That'd
if
be the
Alex
vote.
Smith played major softball, he's definitely a major player. Like
He's a
he's a
beast.
top,
Yeah.
yeah,
He's tough.
he's a top 30 player in the game. There's no doubt, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting topic, and maybe at our next show we'll make a list before the show, and
Ooh, you know what we
share
could do? We could do like a top 50 and then top 50 the next week. There you go. Little cliffhanger
Yeah.
for everybody.
And
Let me read this comment.
Go ahead.
We've got a comment from Chris Rieger. Says teams are folding because people have families and lives outside of softball. Back in the day, the old timers who missed bachelor parties, weddings, etc., that they bitch about is because they got a nice envelope. Donnie, get on the range. We got to beat the Dons next week. We do have a St. Pat's Notre Dame golf outing next week that I will be participating in, so that's awesome. However, they missed a lot of stuff back then, like the old time. Jim, you could probably speak to this a little bit. The commitment level was softball first, then everything else. Right now, it's kind of do what you want to do. For some, not everybody. Do what you want to do, and then if you're available for softball, go to softball. Fall asleep? Jimmy, I think you froze up, which is actually pretty funny that you froze like that. It looked like you fell asleep.
I lost you. My internet froze. So, but no, you said you could speak to this about back in the day with the old timers. You know what? The bachelor parties, the weddings. I think back then, I just think that you wouldn't play if you wanted to play major softball. You had to show up. That was the thing.
Sure.
And those teams back then, they had depth. They had. If you didn't show up, your ass was on the bench for those teams. We talked about that in a couple of shows ago. And nowadays, these major teams unfortunately have to give into it. But you also got to remember, 10 years ago, the internet, the social media aspect. There's a lot of things that weren't involved back then. People back then didn't have as many things to do, didn't know about as many things in the world. Now you have the world at your hand 24/7. People can get a hold of you anytime, any second.
Yeah.
You know about your mother's cousin's aunt's birthday party. When those parties you've never heard of before, because there's really no way of getting a hold of you. So
Sure.
there's a lot of different aspects that play into why the game is the way it is today. My biggest thing, I think, when you look at softball is we have to make our game is interesting, but we have to make our game quicker, just like Major League did. I know a lot of hitters don't like the 1-on-1 count, but the 1-on-1 count speeds up the game. You know what I mean? It makes it a lot more action, where that pitcher's throwing the pitch, and 7 out of 10 times that hitter is swinging on that first pitch that is delivered on a 1-on-1 count.
Agreed.
And it does speed up the game. We don't. If you think about it, 1-on-1 count games normally don't last longer than an hour on the average. They're done in under an hour. To me, that's something that, like I said, Major League Baseball did to speed it up, to create more action. Maybe it's something that we can do too. I don't know. Maybe they make, and they have. I mean, if you look at a lot of the tournaments, even the major style is 1-on-1 count.
Yep.
At least Thursday
on the opening, Thursday, Friday, and those games fly and they keep everything on time, unless there's the anomaly of a game that goes 10, 12 innings, which you really can't do anything about, right? It's just that's how the game's going. But yeah, there you go.
It's I don't know. To me, it's an interesting topic, and something else that needs to be said. So
yeah, well, that's a great conversation. Let's hop into rumor mill here, because I did get a great text from Noach that we'll talk about when we get to his team. But where do you want to start? We talked about Whale picking up the Circus guys. We talked
I am going
about
to
Circus.
start with money line. So I'm going to start with
Okay.
money line.
All right, go ahead.
So Moneyline had some commitments this week. One in particular, Drew Chaveria, has
Yep.
committed to Moneyline. So he
Good.
obviously with Meatball City folding, Drew going back to Moneyline. He's going to be a part of that squad. I know that Moneyline has also been reaching out to players across the game, to enhance their squad. I'm not sure about call it the good program guys that were on that squad. I don't believe they're
Yeah.
going anywhere else, but
Yep.
they haven't given commitment to come back yet, is what I was told. Uh, Also with that, total rumor mill here. Haven't confirmed with Maddie or anybody. The Lentine, the father and son, the Lentine combination, as I would call them, possibly looking to go to Moneyline. Also, Chris Miller from the March team, possibly
Love it.
looking to go to Moneyline with them, is a 3 package deal. Obviously, Moneyline gets a couple veterans. I'm assuming Tommy Lentine Sr. would either pitch or possibly backup pitch, with Robbie being the starter there. So good pickups, good quality pickups for them, and good guys. I know that Maddie's always looking to add good quality guys
For
to
sure.
his team.
Yeah, I was with a couple of the money line guys today, and I was with our guy Eric Mandarino, and he
Yeah.
wanted me to clear the air, Jim, that he was kicked off. Not He did not quit. He was asked to. Well, there was a spat during a game in Schaumburg where him and Nick Drabel got into it a little bit. Very funny story about little Mick Balestri potentially striking out during the game, and the umpire called it a ball. Eric Mandarino got very angry about it, gave the umpire a hard time, and Nick said, "If you're going to keep talking, go ahead." And Eric grabbed his things and he politely left the game. And that was the first time they'd seen each other since then, by the way, which is funny. But Eric did not commit to 38s, though. He told me he's not committed to dirty 38s and doesn't know if he's going to play ball next year. But Drabel did sound like they're going to roll with Moneyline another year for sure. Him and
Yeah.
Ryan both.
Yeah.
So
So, I
that
mean,
team, the Moneyline team, is a bunch of relatives with the Drabels, the Gannicks, the Brian Davis, Eric Davis, and then you've got the Lentines. I mean, 8 of their players are all related, which is funny to me.
well, and if you look at this past weekend, Maddie ran a team with all brothers.
All brothers. Yep, always does. With the Wiz
So,
brothers, too. The Wiz brothers could go to Moneyline. So there could be 10 people on the team that are related.
yeah.
That's good chemistry, actually. The Gannicks, Drabels, Wizzes, Lentines. That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy to
Davises.
think. So what do you got from Fat Kids? I've got a lot more I can share with.
Yeah. Fat Kids, big breaking news that our guy Chippy is headed to Fat Kids. So done with Circus, being done with their team, headed to Fat Kids potentially. So Chippy's a awesome top quality player. As we were talking here, Noach sent me a text and said they might bring the villain back to play with Fat Kids next year. Our guy Jason Camarillo, who didn't play at all last year because he was umpiring some baseball in Cooperstown, but he'll be back potentially and playing with our guy Noach and the Fat Kids. So that's good news.
The
villain is back.
Gonna partner up with Pops.
Yeah,
Chippy
Pops. Yep.
Anthony Stacy.
Yep.
So no,
Fat Kids making some noise.
We talked earlier in the show about how a team gets better from teams folding, and the Fat Kids.
Yep.
Hence, I got the shirt on, represent my boy Angelo. He asked me to wear the shirt, and so I did. I told him I'm going to wear it to the show.
Good shirt.
It's very comfortable. I ain't gonna lie.
Nice.
Very comfortable shirt. So the next team I want to speak on is Flash. So Flashback. They added, obviously, we always mentioned they've added the Koch brothers. They added Brian Brakowski, the dude from Whale.
Barzowski. Brian Barzowski.
There we go.
I know it was
something like that. They added him. I heard through the grapevine they're looking to add another player. Could that possibly be Tommy Lentine Jr.? I could see him maybe ending up with Flash.
Good connection to JP. He plays a lot of different positions.
Right.
That's a nice pickup for any team. Yeah.
Chris D'Agostino, rumor mill, possibly going to Flash. That's one. Another player leaving, coming from Circus, going to Flash. I also heard D'Agostino's name with us as well with the 45s.
Okay.
So those two teams, I think, is where Chris Daggs will probably end up. I did get a text from our boy Drew with the Chucks saying that Timmy and Duff could possibly end up playing with Chucks next season.
Okay.
Total rumor mill, but is a possibility. And I did hear, and this is pretty valid, that Kevin Duff might be also joining Moneyline next season as a part-time player when he can make it. So that name was brought up to me about Moneyline as well. So
wow,
interesting, turn of events in regards to the signature squad breaking up and where those players are going to. So
Circus.
It's definitely entertaining. So the next team on my mind is Hex.
Yeah.
So have you heard about Hex? Have you heard anything?
Steph McLaren, and then Sean Burke and Brian Nowakowski. So Bino, Steph, and Sean Burke for Hex. Who else you got in there?
So I did hear Tony Valdez's name sprinkled around the Hex squad. I know that it was brought to his attention. I'm not sure what Tony's thinking, but I do know that there's several teams that reached out to Tony. I know that for a fact that we've had conversations. The 45s have conversations. Hex has had conversations. Irons even reached out to Tony Valdez. They've had conversations.
Tony's good.
So there's a handful of teams I feel that are, would definitely take on Tony's services, which he would definitely help those squads. The other next team, BTA. We talk about teams folding. There's a slight possibility that BTA could fold this offseason.
Another potential great major team that could fold. I just got a great text message, Jim. I won't say who it's from. Circus folded because there was no competition for us when everybody was there. There you have it. That's why Circus folded, because they were too good when they had their full roster.
Nice.
Won't name the source, but that was the text.
Too bad they didn't have their full roster all the time. One tournament.
Yeah. Go ahead. What were you to beat? So BTA could potentially be done.
Yeah, BTA possibly being done. I think that if they do fold, I think it's something that would be I would be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, because there are a lot of really good players at Washington Park. There's a lot of teams in Washington Park, and there's always guys that want to try and move up and play in Washington Park. So I won't see BTA or High Y, Pharaohs. There's always talent to be found in Washington Park because there are so many teams and so many players that go out there for triple headers on Sunday. So it'll be interesting.
So I was with we play in the Wednesday league yesterday, and this one might shock you. I did hear it from another source today, but Jack Nakamichi going to Impact.
Okay. Impact. That'd be great.
So I don't know. I did hear it from from someone yesterday at the field, our boy Timmy, but I also heard it today from other people as well. So could be a possibility that he's on Impact. So I have not spoke with Jack. Maybe someone can confirm if that's truth behind that out there now. But I think that would be a great pickup for Impact.
Because they've got Matty Eberhardt, who's close friends with Jack, and Eberhardt, one of the guys that works for Signature, and Jack has there you go.
So
let me give you another one. Look at the teams here. Let me give you another one. Let's see. We talked about Hex. I was with Jack Landwehr from Chicago Dynasty. They're going to run it back for another year, is what it sounds like, which is good. We're not losing another major team with Chicago Dynasty. They're going to try it again for another year, which is great. Saw Spaghetti today at the golf outing, said Chicago Dynasty is running it back, and he'll be there when he can.
Nice.
It brings me to my next team, the 45s. And I heard a couple things about the 45s you can maybe confirm nor deny, but tell me about Little B. We have a potential Little B landing with 45s next year?
Well, I mean, I think it's about a 50-50 thing.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with him personally.
Yeah, sure.
So, it's tough to say or tough to speak to when I haven't spoke with Little B.
Sure.
I know that Nate has, and it's been brought to my attention, but there's really, I think all of softball saw his post a couple weeks ago that he wanted to come to our team, but nothing is confirmed yet. I can definitely say that.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the post. I wanted to see if you had any confirmation on that.
Yep.
He would be another unbelievable outfielder to add, and then potential with Chucky heading out of there playing for Dirty 38s. All speculation, rumor, but that would be a heck of a guy to add to the outfield if Chucky did decide to go play with his guys over at 38s.
Yeah, Chucky becoming one of my nephews this season. He wants to play one league.
Okay.
And I know that his commitment, his schedule, there's a lot of things with him going on in his life with, and
he's Chicago police, right?
He is. Yeah. And so Chucky, great outfielder, and he wants to win. He wants to play. If he were to leave the 45s, I don't think he's leaving the 45s because he didn't want to play for the 45s. I think it's because of the fact that commitment would be less for him, and I think it matters to him to be there if he's committed to a team like 45, 6 or Flash. Not to say that 38s is not that squad, but 38s plays less, and I think it'd be easier for him to make a the 38 schedule compared to what we do. So
makes sense.
Just my opinion. And Chucky hasn't confirmed yay or nay either way. I think he's leaning towards the 38 thing. I've heard that from multiple people, but I don't know. I'm sure we'll hear more about that in weeks to come for sure.
Okay. Text message rolling in, Jim. Anonymous source. Jake Majerus lands on the money line group chat. Yep. So another Meatball City guy getting out there, putting himself out there, and getting on another major team, which is good. That's a good thing.
Now he went over there with Drew, and then wasn't there somebody else from Meatball?
Jose Godinez. Jose Godinez.
Yes. So him and Jose are tight and close, and so I think they kind of went there as a package deal. And I did forget about Jake. He is also a Team Jagoff member, so
he's another one of your nephews, Jimbo.
Yep.
Well, other than that,
what's going on with our famous signature? What's
just Keenan
moves? What other team? What other team do you guys want to break up?
45's next.
Next.
Nothing, honestly. I know you talked about the 45s, which is great. I've got nothing for signature. I think we don't really have anything going on.
Yeah,
we're kind of happy. I know some of the guys out of town for some of the decision makers. Nothing crazy from us.
So Donnie Rollins to YTD.
Ooh, that's big. That's true.
So
that's true.
DNR to YTD. Look at that.
DR to YTD. YTD could be a team next year with the DOS Bros. That would be great.
From what I heard, they are coming back.
That would be great for the game, right?
From what I heard.
That's true. Joey Carb said a lot less Julian Russell going to other teams. That's true. We haven't done our famous Where's Waldo thing with Julian Russell.
Well, it's hard to do Where's Waldo when he's not leaving the 38s.
I know, that's tough. KJ, what's new on the high Y thing? Anybody going to high Y? Maybe Alex Cotto to potential high Y,
Well,
but I haven't heard
funny
anything
because
from
I've
high
actually heard Alex Cotto to a couple teams, Moneyline being one of them. I've heard him
45s.
to. No, I have not heard the 45s.
That's
I've
good.
heard 30-38s possibly.
Okay.
I've heard him going to high Y. I've heard him going to. I think I said them already. So 38s, high Y, money line for Cotto possibly. Might be a good landing spot. And even I don't know about Iron. I heard his name tossed around the Iron situation. I know he's CJ and a couple of those guys as well. But I think Iron is an up and coming team where if they can land a player or two, I think they're only going to get they're only going to get better as those young kids get a little older in the game. So
for sure, great group.
Any other rumor mill that you've heard, or what other teams do we have that we haven't spoke about yet?
Yeah, that's I think all I've got for this rendition of rumor mill. It was a good one for sure. Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm forgetting some off the top of my head. I didn't have it written down today for the show, unfortunately. I'm dealing with 2 sick kids here at the house, but yeah. So, but Donnie, I once again, thank you, my man. The comments are rolling in, crazy out there right now. Over 100 and something people watching.
Sam Rogers said Moneyline might end up with 97 guys if all of rumor mill is true. They have a large Whale, Moneyline, and Fat Kids added 52 people this offseason to their already full lineup. So that'll be interesting to see and develop who starts on all those teams. Yeah, but that'll be it's been good. Rumor mill will be hot in the next show.
Yeah, it'll be definitely hot, and I think in the next show we're going to come out with our top 100 major player list.
Maybe.
At least we'll run off 50 of them, and we'll talk about those players.
Maybe.
So we could probably use. I was thinking about it from a roster standpoint. I'm sure we can use Game Changer. We can use something to get rosters, or maybe we can call the SSA to get a roster.
Yeah.
But interesting. Well, Donnie, thank you, my man. I know we'll be back probably in what?
A week or two?
Maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks at the most. I do want to say congratulations to the co-ed national champions.
Yep. Athletes HQ.
HQ, yes. HAQ, right? Is it?
That's Athletes HQ. AHQ.
Right. That's Jordan Dean, Lauren Dean, Spencer Mahoney.
Yep.
I believe Ashley Lentine was out there with them. Brian Evans.
Brian, no, the pitcher was Mikey. Shit. What's his last name? Mikey. The pitcher Mike was one of the MVPs.
Nice. Well, congratulations to them, and let's try to get them on the next show, the MVP. I know Lauren Dean was an MVP, so let's get them on that show because I know we always do MVPs for those major tournaments. That is considered a major tournament, so let's get them out there. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I know Sam Rogers lighting it up. Hopefully Sam is doing good with his surgeries. Donnie, anything else to say?
That's it for me. Talk.
Well, thank you, guys. We appreciate you guys joining the Uncle Jimmy, Cousin Donnie show, sponsored by Signature Transportation Group, Mom and Dad Water, and your famous Beacon Tap. Thank you.